Hey, how's it going?
Hey man, how's it going? You right?
Yeah, you hear me good?
I can hear you fine. Yeah, yeah. I think the other guys are just joining.
Perfect. So we got everybody today?
Yeah, there's all three of us. Yeah, yeah.
Sounds perfect.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna throw it into our WhatsApp chat.
Okay.
Uh, cool. Yeah, yeah. They should just be joining.
Sounds good.
Thanks for having us, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys joining us as well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to get some interest. It's especially from the States, you know. Um,
I can definitely understand that. I know we've been doing our radio station for a few months here, and like we try to hit, all kinds of different genres, and I feel like this year has kind of put my love back with like pop punk, easy core, just like near the top again.
Yeah, I mean, there's some great, well, I'm sure we'll come into that. So that was in one of your questions on the list. Like pop punk is just one of those ones that sort of dies off, comes back, dies off, comes back, but it never really disappears forever.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Whether it's like a new band you've just found or something from 25 years ago, you can still, it's just, you know, it's just a very specific sound, you know. How can you not like it?
Right there with you, man. Like I love going back and listening to the stuff that kind of like listened to back in middle school, high school, like the early 2000s, even before that, and like listening to stuff that comes out today, and you can definitely hear where that was key into building the new music today.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Hey, how's it going?
oh, good. Yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Nice to have
uh,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so it looks like we're getting everybody in here.
Yes.
There we go.
Nice.
All right, perfect. So we've got everybody in here. So
Yeah.
again, want to welcome you all here today. Of course, I am Squatch from Squatch in the Pit.
Yeah,
And
man, thank you for having us.
hey, you guys are more than welcome. Thank you guys for joining us.
Anytime. Anytime.
We'd love to do it more so in person, but everything going on plus that big old body of water in the way.
Yeah.
But I know eventually here soon we'll all get to see each other and do this in person.
Yeah, man. That'd be cool.
Hopefully.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Now again, this is Keep Summer Safe. And if you guys don't know them, they are a trio pop punk group, and they have just been killing it this year. They have their debut EP, Meet Me There, which is out right now. Now, that was released back on May 23rd of this year. And looking back at the process of that, what are you the most proud of?
And you guys want to take this one or?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that just probably was we had the EP ready to go, and then we had to make the decision of what to do with it. As in, we sat on it for a while because there was obviously the COVID lockdown in the UK. So we had to sort of make a plan to do we release and not be able to gig because all of our gigs were cancelled, or do we wait for an indefinite amount of time and then release it later? So eventually made the decision to release, and I guess the achievement from that so far is how well it's done without really being able to push it anywhere other than online. You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, it would be great to release and then to gig and to get into radio stations and to network and to meet more people and etc. But we've been solely pushed to just online. But I think that we're pretty proud of how it's done, considering, you know.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, like, again, like, just to reiterate, like, the fact that there are no gigs at all anywhere is tough, especially when you're putting out new music. So yeah, man, just for the response and how much we've managed to sort of get done and how many people we've managed to reach, new and old. Yeah, it's been pretty rad, like, pretty awesome, pretty happy with that, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like what they said, it's how people accepted it, knowing that they 50% of the time they probably haven't seen us live. But in an ideal world without the coronavirus, you know, they probably have, but again, it's how it's been received so far. Been really awesome, without playing any gigs, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like, I still think our strongest like attribute is our live shows and how much fun it is to play them to people, and people seem to have fun when they're at them. So if you enjoy, like, listening to the music on the recorded versions, like, coming and seeing us live when we can eventually do that, it's gonna blow you guys away, because it's so much more fun, honestly.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, because you guys, with the videos that I've seen and just following on the social, you guys are very high energy, and just, you know, you always want to get out there. Definitely understand that. And, you know, you guys label yourselves as a beer drinking, Rick and Morty loving, pop punk, pizza partying trio. Tell us all about that fateful night in that pub back in May of last year, and how that has brought us to where you guys are today.
Well, we all used to play in, well, me and Aaron had been in an old band together, and funnily enough, we played with Gian's band a few months before we broke up and stuff, and both our bands sort of broke up at the same time, and we decided, like, right, me and Aaron were like, look, we need to find a guitarist. I mean, you know, we were looking for someone local, and we went on one of the websites to try and, like, find my bandmate or something, and we found, like, Gian, like, looking for a band as well, and the funny thing is, we didn't know that Gian had actually played, like, we had actually played with Gian until we met him at the pub that night. It was like, hold on a second,
I know you.
this band, didn't you? And I was like, oh yeah. So it was sort of like one of those moments where it all just clicked. The universe just aligned, and yeah, there was a. Other than that, there was a lot of beer.
Yeah, there was a lot of alcohol, man. Like, I think that's when we really realized we could click together. It was like a school night. It was way too many beers.
Yeah, for sure.
I was late as well. I was,
yeah. Yeah, no, it was good fun. Like, I mean, instantly we sort of hit it off with, again, talking about Rick and Morty and stuff. Just pretty much quoting that and drinking.
Yeah, from what I remember, there was only vague band chat that night. It was mainly just seeing if we could gel as people. I think that's more important almost than being, like, gelling as musicians. Because we spend a lot of time together, and I think that there are so many bands out there that you see that don't really get on, or don't get on after a couple of years. We've only really known each other for just over a year, but it's like we've known each other for a lot longer as a band, for quite an early band. You know, like, again, we've only played a handful of gigs before everything got cancelled, but when we hit the stage, or when we hang out, when we practice, it generally feels like we just know how each other click, which is really awesome.
For sure. And I mean, as you say, like Aaron, we might not be able to see each other so much at the moment because of all the lockdown rules, but literally, like, as soon as we see each other, it's like just back to normal. It's back to how it was before. I mean, I've known Aaron for years and years, and it feels like Gian's not too far behind. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're straight away, we just whenever we see each other, we just click straight away. It's just such a good environment to be around. I'll be honest. You know, especially if we've a few old bands and stuff. You know, when you're not getting on, then that's where there's problems. You could be the best musicians in the world, but if you're not having fun, then why bother doing it? So you know,
it's
you
yeah,
know.
exactly. It feels like look, Aaron and Lawrence are the sort of guys that I would hang out with in school anyway, or in university. So when I met them, it was just kind of like, oh, you know, it felt familiar, and I didn't feel out of place at all, even though they've known each other for many years, and I came along, and then it just feels like I've known them for like part of the group. So
Yeah, man, for sure, definitely.
Thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
can definitely understand that whole, you know, familyhood, brotherhood of wanting to be with people that, you know, you can get along with, kind of, you know, the same mind. And, you know, when you're making music, yeah, you're performing for maybe 1 or 2 hours a night, but you're around them for 20 plus hours the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, when you're touring and even just like, you know, there can be times when you're in the practice room and stuff, and I mean, you've worked long hours and whatever, doing like your daytime job, and then you come into the room, you could be tired, you could be like literally just about to fall asleep, but when the jokes start flowing and the music starts going, it's like, yeah, the energy's just there, you just feel it straight away. So yeah, definitely. I'm having a blast. So
Right on, right on. Now, your new video for Not an Apology released here about a week ago with a lot of success after releasing your debut song and video for Nervous there at the back of July.
Yep.
And, you know, what has the experience been like for you creating these music videos while being limited to what you're able to do with all these restrictions, limitations?
When we released the EP, we finished recording literally days before the country just went into lockdown. So we finished recording vocals. The last thing that we had to do, honestly, the weekend before, it was like 3 or 4 days before the whole country was just like,
it was tight. Yeah.
So for us, we were, you know, we are obviously we're hearing about the coronavirus and it's absolutely sucks, and we were like sort of quietly hopeful that, you know, a few other countries had gone into lockdown, and we were like, right, we need to get this finished before we go into lockdown. And we, I say, Aaron said earlier, we sat on the music for ages, a good few weeks, and we were like, when should we wait? Should we not wait? You know, because there's obviously, even now, there's no real end in sight. And we sort of just went, no, do you know what? Screw it. We're gonna throw it out. And we always had ideas to throw out a music video, but the tough thing was, it was right. When can we actually meet up and film legally? Because obviously the fines and stuff. We don't make too much money from being in the band, so we don't really want to get fined too much. So you're like, all right, well, when can we actually meet up and do it? And a lockdown was like looking like a long time. It was a good few months. We were like, well, we can't just release something and then not throw out a video or not really push it. So we basically
that was the issue, wasn't it? Like you say, it was we couldn't gig with it, so we had to do videos. That was, I mean, it's online, and we had, you know, some interaction with various social media and stuff, but it's video that really draws people in. So yeah, it was, because initially, from the only kind of good thing, I guess, that we got from this was we got to wait and see what became popular. Like, so some bands or most bands will have it already all planned out, you know, like, we're going to release this as the single, this is the music video, this is the second single, etc. For us, we put out the EP and then couldn't really do anything but just sort of watch what happened. And Not an Apology became the sort of favorite or the most popular song on the EP, which then made us think, okay, well, this will be the single, this will be the video. But as Lawrence said, we couldn't meet up, so we ended up taking Nervous, which we thought would have been the first single initially, and then releasing that first, and then obviously having to wait for Not an Apology until there was a time where we could safely meet up without like getting fined, and doing the shoot. So as I say, Not an Apology was would have been out first, and Nervous would have come out second, but we had to think pretty, what can we do? And we had quite a long Zoom conversation about that, didn't we? Like, it was like, we went through loads of different ideas of various different, I forget some of them now, but like, we were on the phone for like 2 hours going through all sorts of different things we could do, or not really do even.
Yeah.
And eventually we settled on this idea of, well, what if we do something animated? Because it might capture everything that, it's effectively literally a blank canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, none of us were good enough to put anything, we can't make video or animation videos ourselves. So we had to look around, and we found a guy that was really, really good at what he did. And we just gave him a few points, and he rolled with it. And I think he did a really awesome job.
Yeah. And we sort of say we gave him a few things that we wanted to appear, and then he was hitting us up with ideas that he thought, oh, well, I've like checked out your socials, I've listened to this, and it's like, I think like this idea could really work, and this idea could really work. And he come back to us with some like really cool ideas and stuff. We kind of let him have let him have a bit of fun with it as well himself. Like, again, like, what do you think? Like, from the outside looking in, he come back with a few ideas and stuff. And I mean, I absolutely love the video, honestly. What he did with that on the Nervous video is amazing.
But it was just a matter of getting creative, really, having limitations with what we could do, what we were allowed to do. I think, that 2 hour Zoom call with the band really did sort of, what has people done before, what are they doing now, and what can we sort of do to stand out. And no one really did a Lego video, so we thought, okay, let's go with that. Let's find someone that is, that can do stop motion stuff. And I'm very glad that it happened.
Yeah, and then obviously with the Not an Apology video, we lucked out because there was like a brief lull in the lockdown rules where like up to 6 people could meet up. And as soon as that happened, we were like, right, we got to get this video done. And then we sort of started making arrangements to get that one done. And that was really fun to shoot as well, because for myself, that was my first music video I've ever filmed. So yeah, it was rad. And again, it's one of those ones that you kind of just have to adapt to the times. The music industry is always changing, and the coronavirus and what it's done is no real difference. You just sort of constantly have to adapt. When you consider 20 years ago, 30 years ago, however long, there was no real online presence at all. Like, I mean, you might have had a MySpace, but that's sort of about it. But now, I mean, there's so many different websites you need to have, and you need to be active everywhere. So it's just about adapting. And I mean, I'm super happy with everything, how it's all come out, both the videos so far. And then it begs the question, sort of like, where do we take it from there, really? Like, bigger and better videos next time? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so I feel like you guys have
story videos.
Yeah, I think you guys have definitely done a phenomenal job of adapting and, going with the punches, doing what you're able to do with what you're given. And I'm looking forward to what you guys are able to do with no restrictions.
We can't wait, honestly.
Yeah, man. There's a real heavy plan that we have laid out for our next. Well, what will be probably a release from EP2, which we can't really work on yet, but we already have like a video completely set out with two guys that would be willing to sort of to put it all together, because like we just had so much time to think about, like, what can we do? Like Gian said, like we need to. Well, how do you stand out? There's so many bands all in the same position, all vying for the same audience. Especially in pop punk, it's a bit of a. It is a little bit of like it dies off, it comes back, it dies off. Like you never really know when you're gonna hook people. But though there are so many bands trying to get them same people to listen. But I think our next video, which will probably be from the next EP, will be a real fun one. Like providing that we can go in with no restrictions and do exactly what we want to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So fingers crossed on that front. Hopefully it'll be next year, right? Like we just can get back to normal or some sort of normal.
As much as possible.
Whatever that new normal is going to be.
Yeah.
But, you know, you guys have definitely been busy over quarantine. And, you know, not just with music, but also kind of like with, you know, your downtime. And one thing that I see that you guys have been interested in, I myself, because I was a huge fan when it first came out, was Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yes.
So, gotta ask you all here one question: is it Tony Hawk Pro Skater or is it Skate, and why?
I'm a Tony Hawk all day. The soundtrack was just like the soundtrack to my childhood. Superman by Goldfinger just instantly.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's probably what got not just people into, like, not only to get more people into skateboarding and really bring skateboarding into like limelight to so many more people, but the music behind that game, I think, literally got so many people into punk rock, got so many people into pop punk and skate punk and every subgenre that you could get from that. You know, it was just full of energy. For me, I think that's why Tony Hawk edges it for me. I've played a lot. I've sung a lot more hours into Tony Hawk. As I say, Skate is also a great game, but I think that it's just for the nostalgia of, especially at the moment, replaying the remastered versions of 1 and 2. It's just, and with an updated soundtrack, but with most of the original soundtrack, it's just a real, you could play it for hours, and like you say, just the second it drops in with that opening song, it hooks.
I mean, it's great because, as you say, you could literally. I mean, the best thing about it is like you could not listen to Spotify, not listen to like anything else, and just have that game sort of just playing in the background, and the soundtrack. You wouldn't even need to skip a song. It's just so good. And the cool thing is, like with Aaron's touching it, but like with that coming out with an updated soundtrack, that's kind of a big deal, because a lot of people will be going back to the game with the updated version, and there's going to be songs they've not heard before by bands they've not heard before. I think that's kind of the problem a lot nowadays. There's a lot less like you don't really, like in movies and in games and everything like that. There's not so much like they have original soundtracks now, as opposed to like they don't really get songs from like bands that are out there and put them into the game so much anymore. It's mostly they have like original soundtracks. So like that's huge for it to come out and just have so many awesome songs on it. But again, that's why it edges it for me as well, like out.
It's like, it's no American Pie, is it? Where you hear Blink-182 or Eurotrip.
Yeah.
This case, no.
Let's bring those back. I think that's the real aim of this band, isn't it? Is to get, if we can get a song into another American Pie, if there is one, or like another Euro trip, like for sure. Like I don't think anything's ever gonna top that. Like, unless we can get like a cameo in the Simpsons or something, that'd be pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
I know Mark Hoppus has stated a few times the coolest thing that he's ever done in Blink-182 was to be in The Simpsons, even though he only says like 3 words.
Nice.
So let's get in for that. Aim high.
Yeah,
Let's
for sure, for
stretch
sure,
this
for sure.
place.
Yeah, I mean, with the Simpsons, you're reaching so many different people that you wouldn't necessarily otherwise reach. So I can definitely see that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Now, talking just back with the pro skater really quick,
Yeah,
any
exactly.
memories from your childhoods or when you're younger from that game?
I remember spending a long time trying to hit the like that million. I think it's the 1,000,000 point level, or like
Mhm.
a 1,000,000 point challenge. It's like most games that are remade now. Like I remember it as a kid being a lot better at it than I am now. Like I just remember used to just smacking out these combo moves, and I remember just literally grinding to hit that 1,000,000 point score. I can't get anywhere near it on this new game. I don't know. Like it's just not happening. But yeah, I remember just sitting in the like just going round and round and round for hours and hours and hours, just hitting the ramps, hitting the combo moves, hitting the special bar, trying to hit that 1,000,000 points. And I think I did manage it once when I was on the PlayStation 1, but I've not come anywhere near it on the remake.
Yeah,
So
I remember playing it when I was younger, and it was like that you could sort of, as you're going through, you could unlock different skaters and stuff. And I remember unlocking Travis Barker, and that was pretty rad. Being able to skate as one of my favorite musicians as well was just, it was so much fun. Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, I think that's my memory as well. The Travis Barker.
Yeah, man, we had the massive mohawk, and it was just,
Right.
man, that was rad. Yeah, like again, and trying to and failing to make a level myself, that was always fun. And
right,
like
yeah.
you'd have to like put all the different parts everywhere, and you'd like try and like make it. I remember seeing before where someone made it so it's like literally you're doing like it's like a roller coaster. You're going up, around, down, and like to try and grind it. And I remember like, oh yeah, I want to make one of those myself, and I was just awful, man. I just so bad at making them, like literally so bad. But it was just so awesome. Like I say, I think it's one of the best things that could happen to the genre is like a high profile game like that coming back and sort of reigniting people's love for the genre. Hopefully.
Yeah, definitely right on with that. And it kind of goes into this next question here is, where do you guys see the current and future state of the pop punk genre? As you know, many over the years have stated how pop punk has died or is dead. And what do you think 2021 has in store for the pop punk scene for Keep Summer Safe?
To be honest, I think if we can gig again,
at the moment,
I was gonna say I think people are hungry to go to gigs. People want to see music.
Yeah.
So sure. I think genuinely it's going to be a good one. Go on, Jim.
I was gonna say, I think it is weird seeing versions of pop punk just fly through my between like sort of 5 years. You went from Neck Deep, and now you go to MGK. People count him as pop punk, and I think what's in store for us is if I dye my hair blonde again, and probably look MGK will be golden.
the thing is like with the Machine Gun Kelly thing, that's huge for the genre. Like he's got this divides opinion massively in the pop punk world, but like Tony Hawk game, anything like this is huge for bringing people in. So like you'll have people that have never listened to pop punk or punk rock, but that might love rap or just in general what Machine Gun Kelly can do, that then buy into the genre. They like the album, they like the single, they want to hear a bit more of it. Maybe they do dive into it a bit more, like something that maybe they wouldn't have come out and found initially. But I think that definitely it will open a door to a lot more. And I think that I read somewhere that there's other artists that are considering it. Halsey, was it, that said she was working on like an alternative rock album? recently. Like, so again,
Yeah.
another huge pop singer that might dive over into the alternative scene, and hopefully bring fans that might not be into it. You know, it is good for the genre. But I think all music, as Lawrence said, will benefit. I think that people are so bored with being told to sit at home and they can't do anything, that when things do happen, like you'll see these little halls that might have had like 10 people in before, like these little dive bars with like barely anyone there. I think they'll be packed out, like for whoever's playing, just because people won't want to be at home anymore. People will want to be out and doing whatever it is that there is to do. So I do think it will all benefit eventually. But, you know, I'd like to think that for us personally, if we can, depending on when we can get back to gigging, people, you know, I'm hoping there's a real resurgence in the crowds that actually come down. London in general is quite hard for not just pop punk, but just like sort of a heavier music in general. There's a lot of places that do it, but the crowd attendance is always very hit and miss. Whereas outside of London, it's usually a lot better. And I know in the States, it's obviously like, it's a hell of a lot better. Because we don't really have like the radio for it here. Yeah, it's a very, very tricky market to break. There's like one major sort of rock radio station in the UK, maybe two push, but everything is very pop, very rap, very R&B over here. So it is quite difficult to break onto sort of mainstream radio, but it's a lot more common whenever I've been in America, for sure, to just hear our sort of style on the radio. So hopefully, as I say,
Sure.
you know, they're starting to play stuff like Machine Gun Kelly now on the radio, but like the pop punk versions of stuff. So like, oh, you never know, it might open the door. In the same way that Avril did, like Avril Lavigne, however many years ago that album dropped, and pulled a lot of fans in. So fingers crossed for 2021.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on with that. Yeah, I can definitely. That's something that we've personally talked about. Is, you know, these artists that do these crossover albums that don't just bring, you know, new fans, but they bring more than that. I feel like, because it's creating a conversation to be brought about it, which will bring even more attention. And, you know, going back to Halsey, I could definitely see Halsey crossing over, because I feel like she kind of pushes that boundary as it is already.
Yeah, and that her song with Machine Gun Kelly and Travis Barker is really awesome. I think her voice will suit it so well, so well. If she wants to collab with us as well, like, you know, if she's listening, we are more than open for that.
We'll be do so.
For sure, man.
That'd be awesome. Now, you know, as you can see here, we can see that Squatch is in fact real, and we absolutely love, you know, the unknown and unexplained. Do any of you have your own Squatch sighting experiences, or any sort of experience about the unexplained or like paranormal?
Ooh. I don't know.
What a reaction from Gina. That's great. I have never, but I like my guilty pleasure is like I love any of those any of the documentaries on it. Like I will watch them drag a camera through like Loch Ness looking for the Loch Ness monster. I will watch a UFO show. I will watch anything in hope that they find something like them. You know, I love it, and I generally like. I'd love to really see something, you know, whatever, paranormal, or just anything like that. Like, you know, when you walk home and it's real dark and you had a few beers and you're kind of looking at the sky, you're like, come on, show me something. Like, but sadly, I've got nothing to report on my end, but I'm waiting for it to happen. I believe something will happen. Like, I'm a genuine believer, but I'm still waiting for my moment.
I think one of the most like sort of unexplained things that's ever happened to myself was we were in practice once and Gene didn't screw up and I don't know how he didn't do that. It's one time he's done that. I don't know how he did it.
Oh, mine was reverse. You know, I think we played 3 good shows and then I played 1 bad show. I think I was possessed by something because I played really badly. But never happened after that. So it wasn't me. It was something else. So pretty paranormal stuff.
Right on, right on. Now, again, want to thank you guys for joining us here. Again, this is Keep Summer Safe. And let us know right now, for everybody who's listening, where can we find you guys online?
Literally everywhere. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, we got YouTube. Literally everywhere. Because of the Rick and Morty reference on the name. Yeah, you might have to put band at the end of everything just to find us for the moment. But we are there, we promise you.
Keep Summer Safe UK.
Yes, we'll say that.
Excellent.
Yeah, literally everything's there. T-shirts, buy a T-shirt.
There's on our Instagram, I think on Twitter and our Facebook bio, there's we have like a link tree where there's links to everything that we're on. So here, if you can find us on any of the social medias, and you want merch or you want to listen to our EP or singles, everything's on our link tree, regardless of what streaming platform you use. So if you could, as I say, find us on anything and then hit the link tree link and it will bring up everything all in one place. So as Lauren said, and yeah, buy a T-shirt. That'd be awesome.
So right on.
Keep Summer Safe. Bye.
Yeah, so if you're out there, make sure you guys go and buy a T-shirt. You know, whatever it is, make sure you guys are supporting Keep Summer Safe. We definitely look forward to seeing everything that you guys do here in the future. And, you know, we're excited for everything you guys have done here over this past year.
And
Thank
you.
Thanks,
thank
man.
you, man. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks
Really
so much.
appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. You know, again, look forward to doing this in person with you guys here soon.
Yeah.
And Squatch out.
Yeah. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, so thank you guys again for joining us.
See you later.
Yep, you guys have a good one.
Yeah, man.